All right. Good evening, everybody. And I'm glad to see some returners from the names I can recognize. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so I am an English language fellow with the U.S. Department of State through the English language programs. So I'm happy to be working with American Corners, Adelina and Alina. I've been enjoying these sessions and of course working with all of you. Before the chat, some of you knew a little bit about Tennessee, but my name's Caroline, and I am from Martin, Tennessee, which is where this T, where the Tennessee T is, the top part. It's a small town of 10,000 people. It's so small, and but that's where I live. However, I did not grow up in Tennessee. I grew up and went to university in Nebraska, right in the middle. So then I moved here about 5 years ago. So very different part of the US. It's been an experience being down here. So today we'll be talking about upskilling and reskilling. And this is a popular buzzword right now, especially with COVID happening. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, but it's an important skill. And then next week, time management, and then 6, resume writing, week 7, social media, and lastly, networking / effective communication. I also have a Padlet I will share, or Adelina can share in the chat box, and that has all the resources that I use for the past weeks, and you can interact with that. So you can look at the link, and I uploaded several resources for today as well. All right, so what is upskilling, reskilling, and skills gap? Okay, these are the 3 words that I will be mentioning today. So in the chat box, if you can answer, what is upskilling? Anyone know? What is upskilling? Okay. We have improving skills. What else? Becoming a master, improving skills in your job, getting better, developing, evolving. Right, yes, very good. Yep, so it's constantly improving. Okay, however, what is reskilling? Okay, going on to the next one. What is reskilling? Have a skill again, upgrade, preparation, training, acquiring new skills. Yeah, exactly. So, right, so learning something new, different. And skills gap. Okay, what is a skills gap? Something you need to work on, lack of skills, something you need to improve. Right. Good. Thank you, everybody, for participating. So upskilling is learning additional skills in your field or area of expertise. So a lot of you said something like that. Reskilling is learning new skills to start a new career or maybe a different area in your field. And skills gap, and this is this is also a issue right now in the US work market is skills in demand by employers, but skills the workforce currently has. So the employer wants maybe someone, for example, computer science and internet privacy and internet security and all those very technical skills, but not many people in the workforce have those skills. So the US has a skills gap in that area. However, on the other end, this is where international can fill in that skills gap. And this is how a lot of international people get into the US workforce, is especially in IT. Okay, so we've learned a little bit about upskilling, reskilling, and skills gap. So in the chat box, what do you think, so discussion, what do you think are needed skills for success in the future job market? Okay, so it's 2021, we went through a pandemic. What do you think are needed skills to find for the future job market? So someone said IT, flexibility, the more the better. Data, always learning, networking, communication skills, emotional and intellect, communication, soft skills, be adaptive. Right, okay. I think maybe you all should just give the presentation for me. Skills working online, yeah, very good. Creativity. So I have this short video, and then we'll get into this discussion in a little bit, is what is the future of work? This was posted by the World Economic Forum. And I also posted this on Padlet. So if you can't watch it or hear it, you can watch it there too. Maybe. Here we go.
COVID-19 is one of the biggest crises of our time. It has impacted every single one of us, shaken our social systems, and disrupted every sector of our economies. The automation of work, combined with the global recession, led workers to lose their jobs at an accelerated pace compared to previous years. And this trend is expected to continue. The ongoing shift in the division of labor between humans, machines, and algorithms might displace 85 million jobs worldwide in the next 5 years, while 97 million new roles, ones that are more adapted to this new task distribution, may emerge. By 2025, companies expect to displace roughly 6% of their total workforce. 1 in 2 workers will need reskilling, and those remaining in their current roles will need to update 40% of their skill set to adapt to the changing labor market. There is a way to collectively benefit from these challenging times. Decades of research have shown that the most valuable asset of any economy or company is its human capital. Around the globe, companies are already experiencing a shortage in relevant skills for future roles and are investing in reskilling and upskilling their workforce. By 2025, organizations say they will train over 70% of their employees to ensure they can smoothly transition into the jobs of tomorrow. These include DevOps engineers, artificial intelligence specialists, digital marketing managers, talent acquisition specialists, and customer success specialists. It will take on average between 2 weeks and 5 months for workers to pick up new skills, allowing them to move into these new roles. But data shows they won't need to have the perfect skill set to start transitioning. While 2/3 of employers expect to get a return on investment in employees' reskilling programs within just 1 year, governments will also need to step in to update and fund education and training systems and to ensure displaced workers have adequate safety nets. With purposeful leadership and collaboration, we can turn this global crisis into a unique opportunity to transition into a future of jobs that is inclusive, fair, and sustainable.
Okay, so yes, that's information by the World Economic Forum. And sorry, I need to. Okay, so there are two types of skills. We have hard skills, the technical skills, the formal education, the job training, and the soft skills, which are non-technical skills. And for the future of, the soft skills are what will be in more demand. Hard skills can always be learned because you can take a class and so on. Soft skills take practice and take time. So as we heard in the video, reskilling, so by 2025, 50% of all employees will need reskilling. So in 4 years from now, and I think what I learned and maybe what some of you learned in the past year because of the pandemic, that some people's jobs just changed or disappeared, and now they need new skills or they need to adapt to have different skills. So it's important to always just to keep that in mind. What you're doing now will probably be different in 5 years, which is crazy to imagine. And as also mentioned in the video, the time needed to start building new skills online and jobs of tomorrow. So 1 to 2 months for people, culture, content writing, sales, and marketing skills. You might need 2 to 3 months for product development and data and AI skills, and 4 to 5 months in cloud computing and engineering skills. So the positive thing is you don't have to spend years learning a new skill. Some things you learn about it and then you need to practice. So that's exciting too, that you don't have to go back and get a different university degree. So the top 10 skills, this is also by the World Economic Forum in 2020, and you can compare it to 2015 here, is the first one is complex problem solving, and then critical thinking and creativity. And you might be asking yourself, well, how do I learn this? How do I take a class? And there are exercises and classes, but it is also just personal development and pushing yourself personally to think critically and exposing. So this becomes where it's really difficult to practice and study these skills because they are very internal and you just can't take one class and be a critical thinker. It takes time and practice. And then people management, coordinating with others. I think in COVID, we learned that these are very important skills, is people management, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence, someone had said, judgment and decision making, service orientation, negotiation, and cognitive flexibility. And what's interesting here is there's nothing here about IT or computer skills. I think it's because companies, you can learn that. You can take a class. Companies will provide the training for those IT skills or the data, but it's these soft skills that are more difficult to teach in one class, but are also very needed. And this is also on the Padlet too, but it has a definition of some of these, what they mean. So sense making. So an ability to determine the deeper meaning or significance of what is being expressed. Social intelligence. This is a popular buzzword right now. I think someone did mention this earlier, is the ability to connect to others in a deep and direct way and stimulate reactions and desired interactions. Followed by cross-cultural competency. So these two are very interconnected and going to be very necessary for the future workforce as more things are being across the borders. So being able to connect to people. And I think personally for me, COVID has taught me that I need to talk to people. And so, but in a different way. So also novel and adaptive thinking, computational thinking, new media literacy. This is a big issue right now, especially all over the world, but the US is assessing media. Media literacy is a big deal. And transdisciplinary. So even if you are a IT person, it's good to understand something in the philosophy to be able to connect and understand concepts. And design mindset and cognitive load management, virtual collaboration. I won't go into too much detail, but this is also in the Padlet. So again, this is another what we just reviewed, but the top 3 skills: analytical thinking, active learning, and complex problem solving. So how do you get these new skills? And as we see, these are not exactly skills you can take a 3-week course and be an analytical thinker at the end of 3 weeks. It takes time and practice. And as people have mentioned, the most important part of reskilling and upskilling is constantly learning and trying to push yourself to do something new and learn something new. And I'm glad that all of you are here. That means you are motivated and you are pushing yourself to learn something new. So how do we get these skills? I should have looked, I don't know about Kazakhstan resources, but if you want, these are, so have you heard of MOOCs, as we say? They're massive online open courses. Sometimes they're free, and sometimes you can pay for them and get a certificate. It depends on the arrangement. And sometimes they are with, like Harvard and really well-known prestigious schools, and sometimes not. So it depends on what you're interested in. I've done a few, and it is, I did one about food. What was it? Like kind of like a dietitian, like food, nutrition, and so on. And just for fun, it was interesting. So, and I did it with Coursera. Coursera is quite popular in the US, but these other 4 are also good. Has anyone tried any, someone says, has anyone tried these MOOCs? So someone says they have. Zazira says she takes Udemy courses, Skillshare, Coursera. Yeah, good. YouTube lecturers, right? TED Talks, LinkedIn Learning, Canvas. Right, okay. Future Learn. Great. So all of you are just on top of this. Great job, Udemy. Someone says they're currently enrolled in a MOOC. Salary Academy, free code camp. Okay, yeah, great. Okay, yeah, so I'm glad that all of you are taking advantage of these resources. Another way is to attend sessions like this at American Corners. American Corners is a great resource of lots of information. And, you know, maybe your local public library or so on. There's all sorts of resources available that are usually free or low cost. If you want to get a formal certificate and some more formal training type thing, you might have to pay for it. But also these days, the idea of paying, so the concept of certificates is changing. So at least in the US, if you complete the Coursera and you get, and you know, you can get a free certificate, some places will accept that. So it depends on the type of job you're applying for. LinkedIn learning courses. I have not tried those, but I'm going to look into that after this. Okay, so the keys to success is to always stay relevant or current, and always work on developing other soft skills. And then always push yourself to go further. Make your newly acquired skills your part of your personality. And then you can move on to the next one. And then most importantly, just never stop learning. And some people are very good at always trying to improve themselves for, you know, their job and their work, but never stop learning means, you know, try something different. If you're interested, if you have a hobby you're interested in, or you want to learn how to play an instrument, that's fine. You know, that's creativity. It's good personal development. It doesn't always have to be career related. Okay, so what we like to do is, well, first of all, any questions? And I know it seems like a lot of you are very motivated already and are working on this, but it's good to always, what should I do with my laziness? It's tough. I would say start small. You know, maybe then she says, no matter how motivated I am, is, you know, take a small step. For example, let me think of a good example. Let's say, I think of exercise. Okay, I like exercise, but I understand a lot of people are not so interested in it or don't like it. So instead of saying, I'm going to run 5 kilometers today, say, I'm going to run for 5 or 10 minutes, and then just take small steps. Or if you want to improve a skill, is like, okay, I want to read this book, this self-help book. I'll read it for 10 minutes and then put it away. And then that's it. So my encouragement is small steps and make it a habit. So 10 minutes a day is not terrible. Oh man, Nurlan asked, how do I deal with emotional burnout? Oh. That is a good question. It's tough. I think it's important to take breaks. Yeah, someone said go to psychologist. I am not an expert in this field. I teach English. But it's okay to take a break. I think if you need a week, that's fine. It's because it can get very overwhelming. But breaks are healthy, breaks are normal, and you need to take a break from whatever that is. And sometimes it's really hard to say no. And for some people, that's a skill that people need to learn, is how to say no. So that could be a skill you practice, is how to say no to people at work or at home. Good, especially when it comes to drugs, right? That's an American, just say no. Oh, okay, Darin, how do you think that the profession of English teacher will change in the following years? And that's a good question. I think for you in Kazakhstan teaching EFL, I think learning a language, people think, oh, I can just learn it on an app, or I can learn it on the computer. But a really important part of language is the interacting and using it in real time. And so I think for those of you in Kazakhstan, you have a great advantage because you can provide that interaction and English language escape. However, for those of us in the US, for thinking of international students coming to the US, it's a lot more difficult because they can get that experience. They can practice their English in Kazakhstan, in China with you. And so it will definitely change a lot for us teaching ESL in the US. But also technology. I think we have to embrace technology now that we are using it for a year. So we need to do both. But students want to be together. They want to interact. They want that experience more so than the grammar. So I think English will be more experience-based than the students want experience more than the grammar and the details. Okay. Other questions before we go into our breakout rooms? So in our breakout rooms, oh, Doreen asked, in general, what skills do ELT will need to have? I think technology, using technology, but also building experience, building a classroom experience, making it interactive. And as we mentioned, the emotional connection, connecting the students with English. So in our discussions, and I will copy and paste this in the chat, we'll have about 10 minutes to discuss these items, 10 or 15. First question is, are you currently working on upskilling or reskilling? So maybe some of you are in a career change, which is great. Has COVID made you rethink your career choice? I need to change that. Why or why not? And what are 1 or 2 areas you would like to upskill?
So you can raise your hand and I will unmute it. Oh, Maglan. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, currently what I'm doing, I'm just trying to improve my English. So I wanna work on my pronunciation. So I know that I have very good vocabulary, but just I want to really push my limits and speak very well. So just this is what I'm just working. So basically, I'm upskilling my English. Yeah.
Good. That's great to hear. Yep, that's a great skill, and I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you very much. So yeah. And about reskilling, so I really would like to learn how to draw. I'm a very bad, I would say, in in drawing. So really like to learn how to do it. So yeah, I just take some courses.
Yeah, there are eggs and potatoes on the bottom level, Ryan. Oh. Anyone else?
Jazira. Or Jazira.
Okay. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. Hello again, everyone. I would like to talk about my group mates where we talked about these questions. So um, it is. I'm going to talk about Alia's speech, Alia's answers. She has really good opinions and answers, and it was really interesting. The first question was about upskilling or reskilling. She answered that she is working on reskilling because before COVID-19, she worked as in a customer service, but after COVID, she is teaching as an English teacher, and it's a big and great change. I mean, uh, so has COVID-19 made you rethink career choice? Why and why not? In your case, it is absolutely yes, because as I've mentioned before, she rethought about her career choice, and today, nowadays, she is taking another different career. And number three, what are one or two areas that you would like to upskill? Oh, unfortunately, I couldn't remember the third answer, but I do remember that she said about uh, IT and she said about time management, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Nurali wants to say something. Nurali?
So with the information that I just heard from others, I really want to improve my English and math skills because because I'm sure that my future is related to IT fields. But currently I walk around various fields, and I really want to try my best and do my best uh, to reach my goals and approach them closer and closer every day. So also I want to thank you to for giving this really great opportunity to participate in.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We also have Shireen. It will be the last person.
Hi everyone. Um, from our discussion, I understood that in this COVID, we should learn more how to present ourselves and sell ourselves more better, to show others how we use our skills, our English in Instagram or other internet resources. It makes us to pretend for good place, for example.
Right, yeah, you're very correct. Very good. And
Oh, you unmute yourself.
oh, yeah, let me. Okay, I will show again just the Padlet, the question, and there's lots of great resources on this. And this was posted in the chat earlier. Let's see if I can repost it. But I appreciate everyone's questions, and I guess there was one question for me. What was your own experience of self-made? And that's a great question. Actually, right now I am studying another master's with communication. So these skills exactly, I'm taking a course right now on social media and organizational communication. So how organizations communicate inside, and so that's what I'm doing. And it's been very exciting, busy, but been very good. So I've been doing this for a year. Well, thank you everyone for your time. I know it's evening and some of you have children and all of that. So I appreciate you coming, and I appreciate your time with us today. And fill out the survey, and please check out the Padlet and their resources. I put some great TED Talk videos and so on there.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.